Welcome again to the Riverside Township Radio Players Monthly Programming. For our Halloween tricks and treats tonight, we'll be bringing you our usual mystery drama, but surrounding it will be two short comedies that evolved from other more established old radio shows. I learned that initially it was Elsa Maxwell who saw Edgar Bergen and his creation Charlie McCarthy at a party for Noel Coward, recommended them for an engagement at New York's famous Rainbow Room, and from there, their radio fame began. They first started appearing as guests on Rudy Valley's program in 1936. It was so successful that the following year, they were given their own show as part of the Chase and Sanborn Hour, and stayed on the air until 1956. Just to back up a little, Bergen was born Edgar John BERGEN in Chicago, the son of Swedish immigrants Nilla Svensdotter and Johan Henriksson Berggren. He grew up in Decatur, Michigan, taught himself ventriloquism from a pamphlet when he was 11. A few years later, he commissioned a Chicago woodcarver to sculpt a likeness of a rascally Irish newspaper boy he knew. The head went on a dummy he called Charlie McCarthy, his lifelong sidekick. At the age of 16, back in Chicago, he attended Lakeview High School, and it's said that his first public performance came about at the Waveland Congregational Church on the North Side, with vaudeville soon becoming his venue for performances. There's much written about this famous entertainer and his other characters. You know them, Mortimer Snerd, and the woman was Effie Clinker, very good, being the best known ones. The speed and skill Bergen had of switching from one character's voice to another was astounding. In fact, sometimes it almost seemed as if two characters were speaking at the same time with totally different personalities coming from opposite corners. An amazing talent. Wish we could bring them back again, but at least we'll bring you a script that includes Charlie's nemesis, W.C. Fields, himself, no slouch when it came to hurling back insults. Let's listen now as we tune in to a Chase and Sanborn segment with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy in the golf tournament.
Say, Edgar, what about that golf tournament that you and W.C. Fields were supposed to play off yesterday? Who won?
We didn't get very far, Bill.
You didn't, Edgar. What was the matter?
Well, I should have known better than to let Charlie caddy for us, of course.
You mean there was trouble?
Well, I'll tell you what happened, Bill. Charlie and I got there first. It was a beautiful morning. It was a great day for golf.
To get out here so early, Bergen? It's awful cold this time of day. You know, I just bet you anything Mr. Fields doesn't even show up.
Oh, he promised to be here at 6:30.
Here comes W.C. Fields. You're a walking ad for black coffee, Bill. Hello, Mr. Fields. Hello.
Hello, my little Tom. I was thinking of you only yesterday.
No, you were?
Yes. I was cleaning out the woodshed at the time. Reminded me of you.
Mr. Fields, is that your nose or a kind of oversized hot air balloon?
Very funny, Charles. Very funny. What's this kid doing around here anyway, Edgar?
Well, I'm going to be your caddy, Mr. Fields, and I'm going to keep score. He suspects.
Would you rather I kept score, Bill?
To be perfectly frank with you, Edgar, I've never trusted either one of you.
And what do you mean by that, Crack? I want you to know that Bergen is just as honest as you are. You crook, you.
That tips the whole thing off. You'd better come out of the sun, Charles, before you get unglued.
Do you mind if I stand in the shade of your nose?
Now, let's not start that now, fellas, please. I'm sure Charlie will be a fair scorekeeper for both of us.
All right. Tell me, Charles, if I take 3 drives and 3 putts, what's my score?
Let's see. 3 and 3? That's 4, Mr. Fields. 4.
Oh, very good. Very good, Charles. How do you arrive at 4?
Well, I'll tell you. You see, when you were putting, a quarter fell out of your pocket, you see?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, that sounds like a workable arrangement.
Oh, isn't this a lovely day, Bill? Lovely. You know, the air is so intoxicating.
Intoxicating it is, eh? Stand back and let me take a deep breath.
Now, I want you to be quiet, Charlie. Mr. Fields is going to tee off.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, quiet, please. I shall now take my usual stance.
I wouldn't lie down here. The ground's too wet.
Quiet, you termites flophouse.
Now, Charlie, I want you to keep quiet. He's getting ready to drive.
Oh, yes, yes. I'm sorry.
You will be.
If you don't mind a suggestion, Bill, you're not holding your club right. Bend your elbow a little more.
That's precious. Telling Fields how to bend his elbow. That's like teaching Washington to grit his teeth.
Charles, my little pal.
Yes, Mr. Fields?
Do you know the meaning of rigor mortis?
No, sir.
Well, you will in a minute.
Now, let's try to avoid that sort of thing. And Charlie, I want you to stop it. You have Mr. Fields all unstrung.
Somebody get me a sedative with an olive in it.
Pardon me, gentlemen, but could I play through?
Well, we'd rather you didn't. You see, we'll be getting along in just a minute now.
Oh, I'm sorry, but there's no harm in asking.
I wouldn't be so sure.
All right, Bill. Hadn't we better get on with the game?
Of course, Edgar. Half a tick. Did I ever tell you of the time I was candy master at the Bunker Feldenheiden Country Club?
No.
Bunkverheiden? I didn't know he could say it.
It was a tough one to say, too. It was at the top of Mount Jungfrau in Switzerland.
All right, Bill. Now there are people waiting to play through.
Oh, I have lots of time left, Edgar. I hit a ball 9 3/4 miles. It rolled into an open manhole in front of Mr. Schwabenhalika's Rathskeller.
I don't believe I've heard of the place. I don't know where it is.
It's but a stone's throw from Finger J. Hundercutters.
Well, I don't know where that is either.
You don't get around much, do you?
I say, old chaps, would you mind awfully?
Yes, we would.
Oh, sorry.
By the way, Caddy, what's the score? How do I stand?
I often wonder.
But there is no score, Bill. We haven't started playing yet.
Oh, so we haven't. Caddy, you'd better give me a ball out of my golf bag.
Is it in this compartment, sir?
No, that's where I keep my bitters.
You know, this is the first golf club bag I ever saw with a faucet on it. What's in there?
Oh, a little snake bite remedy.
Excuse me, gentlemen, but I'm the president of the Greens Committee.
Make mine spinach.
Just what do you want?
Well, I'm afraid you're being a little too turf on the tough. I mean, too rough on the truth. I don't know what I mean.
What's the matter with that guy? Has he got DTs?
Oh, You see before you the shattered wreck of a man, an unhappy creature who has ceased to know the joys of human existence.
Tito, eh?
Sir, I have no sympathy for a man who is intoxicated all the time.
You don't say.
You have no sympathy for him?
A man who is intoxicated all the time doesn't need sympathy.
That was my line, and I forgot it. It was a good one, too.
You don't know how I enjoy taking it.
Drat!
Greens, what are you so sad about?
6 months ago, my wife left me and went back to her mother.
Oh, that's too bad. But why are you still crying?
Tomorrow she's coming back and bringing her mother with her.
Let's get on with the game, Bill. What do you say?
Oh, I say, chaps, could I please play through?
What are you in such a rush about?
Well, I really should get home. You see, my house is on fire.
There's nothing nicer than coming home to a warm house. Where was I?
You were teeing off.
Oh, yes. I was teeing off.
Now this time, keep your eye on the ball.
Only if you can get your eye to detour around your nose.
Tell me, Charles McCarthy, is it true when you slide down a banister, the banister gets more splinters than you do?
Why, you buglebeak, why don't you fill your nose with helium and rent it out for balloon rides over your grand belly?
Listen, you animated hitching post. I'll sick a beaver on you.
You'll do no such thing. You will not harm a hair on this boy's head.
That's not the end I'm going to work on.
Four!
Well, portraying those favorite old-time characters tonight were our very own characters. As band leader Ray Noble, we had Roger Morris. As the inimitable William Claude Duncanfield, or W.C. Fields, as you may prefer, we had the inimitable Andre Dixon, who swears he never touches a drop of water. The one and only Edgar Bergen was played by someone whose lips moved quite a bit more than Edgar's, and that was Jay Summerfield. His most famous dummy tonight was Ellie Babka. And Bill Goodwin's part was read by me, Walt Kovalik. I'm sure you'll note that the famous theme music was turned out by our new sound effects man, Marty McNulty. He may not have had much to sound off with on this show, but the next one will give him quite a bit more of a challenge. Now, if you'll continue to tune in, we'll soon bring you the second of our three-part show. We'll return in just a moment.